So I know I haven't really talked about my cooking setup and you haven't seen too much about that, and that's because I really don't have much of one. And I keep pretty much everything in this box. This particular table I bought from Walmart. It was like $25. It has 3 levels, and I keep it up on my roof rack, so it obviously gets dusty and dirty. I don't really use it to eat off of. I just use it as extra space to set things on, as well as tools, like when I replaced my blower motor. So in my cooking box, the only thing that I really cook would be like rice sides or noodle sides. Other than that, I don't cook anything. Everything's canned food and MRE or something simple like that. I do have my Coleman propane tanks along with the burner, so I set that up for coffee and for whatever I'm making. I actually have 2 burners, but I never picked up a second pot. I don't even know why I carry 2, but I did. And everything, if I do cook it, is cooked in here. I boil my water with this pot. I cook my sides with this pot. So that's why I brought the second burner. I thought I'd pick up another pot so I could do both at the same time. I just haven't quite gotten there yet. I still stayed in the really simple manner, which is kind of true to the channel. So in the morning I just boil my water in that, and I'll boil enough water so that I can make instant oatmeal. Other than that, I've just got my cup for my oatmeal. I don't even use this to drink anything. That's strictly for oatmeal. And that's it. That's pretty much everything. I've got my coffee and creamer in here, and just a couple of odds and ends and little bits and pieces of food or wipes and things of that nature, sugar in a little container. But that is it. That is everything that I have for my cooking setup. I don't want to get overly crazy because I don't feel like unpacking and packing more than I've already got. And since I don't cook at home, I don't cook on the road. Maybe in this video segment of being on the Continental Divide, I'll show Manny's setup again. He has a much better setup than I do, much more creative, but like I said, I just keep it simple because I hate the cleanup. And the other night and tonight I'll probably make my rice side. Once I'm done eating, it really annoys me that I got to clean out this pot, so I'd rather just eat it out of a can or make an MRE meal and throw out the wrapper and things like that. So that's why I haven't shown you a whole lot, because it's not very interesting and it's just too simple to really bother with. Alright, so I had somebody ask about this board here and whether or not it's secure, and they want to kind of do that to their XJ. Since I'm going to be able to probably show this part of the video before I respond to any comments, I'm just going to show you what this is. So this is just a piece of laminate flooring that I glued together, got some janky duct tape around it, and no, it is not secured in any way. I've got this aftermarket bumper, which is a Smittybilt bumper for a tire carrier, and it creates a nice lip underneath here. So all I do is stick that there in that location, and this does not go anywhere. I've never had anything fall off of it. I cook off of it. I set stuff on it all the time, and then when I'm done, all I do is take it and stick it underneath my bed. So my other longer table is under here as well, and that goes here. I'm not going to show that right now. I show that in other videos. But for this one, and the sake of the comment, there is your answer. It just fits underneath that lip, and it's very secure. There are certain places that are better than others, so I kind of keep it here towards the latch, and I don't know, it's about, what, 2 feet by maybe 16 inches or something, maybe 12 to 16. But any board would do. I mean, as long as it's sturdy. The further out it comes, the more you're going to get movement, so that's why I have a shorter board. So there you go. Alright, so for my mosquito netting, I got this idea from Wyatt at Wyatt One Able Garage, and it's just got elastic on it so that you can wrap it around your window. I've been using these every night, and they're very easy to install. These are the SUV size ones, and they just go right over the top here, and you probably can't hear me because the door's in the way, but they just go over like that. And then what I do is I have these 2 magnets, and I kind of just stretch it here along the bottom And that holds it tight because the door kind of concaves there, and that way the mosquitoes can't get up underneath. And even if they do, they've got to get through the other side. The ventilation isn't exactly the best, but I've found that if I have both sides cracked, either in warm weather or cool weather, I still get plenty of circulation inside. And the weird thing is that since I've been putting these up, and even though it's got down to 40 and below at night, and I breathe on this window, I get zero condensation. So that's really nice as well. It's an extra side benefit. But that's what I put in my windows every night, have both windows cracked down to the visor here, and it is working well for me.
Here, look at that. It's half gone already.
Yeah, so is mine. So Manny, after many attempts, has got me hooked on Dot's pretzels, which you can only get, I don't know, we didn't find them until when? Wyoming?
I think I saw one in Colorado.
In Colorado?
Yeah,
okay.
like north, yeah.
They are seasoned and they are amazing. They come from North Dakota. He also got my girlfriend hooked on them, and when I was talking to her today about them, she said she wanted some, and so I said, okay, I'll bring you a package, which is a 1 pound package, and her response was, only one? So, oh, and now they have the Southwest flavor. We haven't seen this one before. Manny, this is like crack to Manny. He's been eating these ever since we found them. This was my first bag that I actually bought, and now I'll be buying more. They are definitely not cheap, so you kind of, I eat them sparingly. He eats them like you're going out of style. But if you've never tried them and you get the opportunity, treat yourself, try these. They are amazing.
Is that when you said in the video you're not sponsored by
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. About ready. So dinner is served. So that's it for the night. We are going to eat up and enjoy our dirt pile along with a little bit of scenery through the trees. So every night Manny sets up his trail cam, hoping that we're going to see some kind of activity that is worthwhile to show on our channels, and we've got nothing. Nada. What we're in over 2 weeks, we've got a couple of cows, some nightly calls in the middle of the night, and that's it. No bears, no moose, no deer, no raccoons, nothing. So, and I keep telling him he needs to set it up on the side of the Jeep that he sleeps, so when the bear does attack, it makes it more interesting.
Get a viral video.
But yeah, we're looking for that viral attack video, and it's just not happening. I keep like washing my dishes around his Jeep, hoping that the scent will bring them in, but it just doesn't work. So that's our line of sight today. Check tomorrow morning and see if we see anything. See if we can get that on camera. Well, my hand's in the way, but that's the view of his Jeep, and then mine's where my hand is. So another thing about when we park at night, we actually don't pay attention to how we're parked near to each other. We're mostly looking just for level ground. So sometimes my hatch is where he makes food in the evening and the morning, and other times we're completely away from each other. If we want to talk, we talk, and if we want to sit together, we sit together. Otherwise, he just pulls up a side of his Jeep, and I'll pull up either in the back or sit in the cab. So we're not constantly gabbing, which I'm sure Manny's appreciative of. But, so we do retire to our own corners quite a bit. But like tonight, we sat next to each other and talked, and now we're going to start putting away everything. So now we are going to pack everything up. I leave my stuff out. I don't even care. And then I use it in the morning. And then he'll either sit out here and I'll go in the Jeep or whatever, and we'll just start editing videos for the night until we get tired, and then we reconvene, usually around 7 a.m. in the morning. All right, since I'm talking about my Jeep a little bit, I'll show you what it looks like when I go into bed. So here is obviously my bed. Got my 25 below sleeping bag, which is being used to wrap around the rest of my bedding. I don't even sleep in that, and it's been down to about 38 at night some nights. All I use is this microfiber blanket. That's kind of high because I got another pillow underneath there. That one I use sometimes, and other times I just throw it here to the side. And so, you can't really see it here, but I've got this open space. I've got my electronic bag at the end, so when I sit here, my feet don't even touch it. This water bottle actually doesn't get in the way. I've got about 1.5 feet of space right here, and I just sit here and I can change, I can stretch out, do whatever I want to do. And then obviously I've got my lights up here. I've got a second set of blue lights I don't have on right now. And then above me, I've got netting there, and then I've got netting even above where the camera is, and I just keep accessories. I can put my glasses up there at night. I can put my bear spray up there at night if I don't want to keep it on the door. And then down here, it's really hard to see, but down here I have my electronics. Got my towels there that I can reach from outside or inside. And then I've got Reflectix in that window. I haven't been putting up my Reflectix in these windows because I haven't needed to. I just don't get cold enough at night. It is chilly in the morning when I crawl out of bed, but I'm nice and warm in there. And then here I've got a mover's blanket that goes all the way across. I keep that there at all times because I try to keep the dust from the inside from coming to the backside. So that blanket stays up there all the time. And at night it actually traps in the heat. I'm a good 10 to 12 degrees warmer inside my cab than outside, even with my windows cracked about 2 inches on each side. So it's a nice little setup. I like it. And then I've got these ammo pouches that just have miscellaneous things, like I have headphones in them, wet wipes, and just various other things. I've even got my winch control up here in this one. So that's what it looks like inside. I've got a bar magnet up here that I keep certain things. I can even attach my phone to it so it's always in reach, so I can look at it at night if I need to, if I've got signal. And then I've got various hooks all around where I can hang things. So on the side that this camera is, I've got jackets hung up, towels, and there's my InReach Garmin, and just various other things. So that's pretty much it. Lots of space. Last year I spent 6 weeks in the back just sitting in one place while I was working the sugar beet harvest, and I know a lot of people would be cramped, but I was actually kind of comfortable. So that's what it looks like when I crawl into bed. So this is what my charging station looks like now that it's daylight out. So I've got a power pack with my USB lights attached to it. My other power pack, I've got a 300 watt inverter. I let this charge small items overnight. That's connected to my battery. I've never had a problem with my battery draining. And then that's my drone charger. And then I've got a drone battery on there. Currently charging my GPS unit. So that's what it looks like during the day. All the cords I can fold up when I'm done with them, and then put them in these little loops that I made so that it's nice and tidy during the day. I don't usually let this stuff charge during the day while I'm driving because it just bounces around, so I do it at night. I do not want anything like a Jackery because I like having these power packs go wherever I want them to. I can even throw them in a backpack if I want and take them with me if I need to charge my phone while I'm hiking or something. I have another inverter up front that's a 400 watt inverter, and that one I use to charge things during the day while I'm driving. So that's just my setup here in the back. All right, so in the morning it's pretty much more of the same. I just get out my camp stove and make coffee, which I've already done. I've got spruce tip water boiling here. Manny will add tea to it, but since we've been in the mountains, we've taken spruce tips, and what I do is I just boil them. That really gets the flavor out, and then I pour the whole thing in this cup, and then I just drink the water and then toss the spruce tips. But that smells incredible when it's boiling like that. I don't know how everybody else does it, but I do it that way, and I think the flavor is just amazing.
I agree.
But over here, let me just show you Manny's setup real quick. He's not cooking today, but I think his box setup's pretty cool. I've shown this in other videos, and if you're interested in this, he's done a complete video on this on his channel. And he's also done a video of these supports where you see how he keeps the back of his soft top up. And he made those so that he has this little awning in case it sprinkles or anything like that. So this entire box is on a hinge, and it's got the handle on it. So the whole thing just folds into a rectangle, and then it goes into that hole in the back of his Jeep, and then all that stuff there goes back in the box. So that's just there for storage. And then it's secured with this little pin here, and so the whole thing doesn't move. And so he built this whole entire system here on the back, and again, he's done a video on the whole thing. But very cool setup. It doesn't go anywhere. He's been using this for years. He's got other storage up top there, and then his bed there is there to the right. And he's got water behind this box and stuff like that, and a pillow. But so when he cooks, he does everything with his camp stove, and then he can also set it inside. So he's got a hole in the box so that he can just have the stove sitting. He's going to show us here. So it can go right there. And then that way that gives him even more space. And, you know, he can do stuff on the side. So in the morning, sometimes he'll make breakfast. He'll make some kind of very healthy stuff that I don't make. And so there you go. That's what it looks like. But he doesn't just always keep it here. He also makes it so that it's on strings. He can attach it off of this tubing here that he's made. And he can set it on the fender flare so that he can cook here on the side, and he's also made it so that he can cook here on the back. So just wanted to show that to you real quick because I think it's a really cool setup. Like I said, he's been using it for years. He really hasn't had to modify it hardly at all. It's just worked out really well for him. But if you're interested, check out his channel and you can see that for yourself. So that's just a little bit about our setups and what it looks like at night when we unpack and try to settle in for the evening. It's not real exciting. I know I don't show a whole lot of that stuff. A lot of people like to see cooking and they like to see setups and people talking. I don't find it all that interesting myself, so that's kind of why I don't show it. And as you just saw, it's probably not all that interesting to begin with when it comes to us. Sometimes we talk, sometimes we don't talk a whole lot. We just do our own thing. It really depends on how tired we are at the end of the day. And as you saw, my setup for cooking isn't anything that you want to see more than once in a trip, really, because it's so boring. Manny has a pretty good setup, but I just wanted to give you an idea as to, you know, what it looked like in the evenings. I know that somebody that Manny knows said that we should show more video, we do in the evenings and kind of what goes on. But it's really not a whole lot. We don't make a lot of fires. We don't have glamorous setups. We just keep it simple. I keep it more simple than he does. And just like today, all we did, he ate Dots, pretzels, and cheese. I ate another MRE. We don't want to do dishes. We don't want to make a meal. We're tired. We know we need to edit a video. And that's pretty much it. So we keep it probably more simple than if we were actually traveling ourselves. I set up a little bit more last year than I did this year, but it still wasn't much. So hopefully you get an idea of what it's like in the evenings, boring or not boring. Feel free to leave your comments below, like, dislike, whatever it may be. And thanks for watching.